Welcome to Afterthoughts, everybody. This is a recommend or refute episode. I am your host, John Garcia. Joining me, the usual suspects. We all stand trial, and actually we're bringing things to stand trial, and those things will be judged. Either they will be recommended or refuted. They know what their crime is. We don't need to tell anybody or specify.
It's only an ostensible recommend,
yes.
Not a definite recommend.
We have the right to come back and put them under arrest and find a different crime to charge them with. Yes. Joining me, obviously, Michael Dixon.
What's up, John? Yeah, I'm excited to talk about movies this week. I think we saw a couple, at least I know you and I saw a couple new movies this week that we enjoyed that'll be fun to discuss here. So
yeah, and some surprises from us just talking about those too. Like, I don't know, interesting takes.
It's been a shitty movie year, and there's finally some good things out there, which is nice. Yeah.
Good things, Ryan, that you'll get to watch on a plane someday.
No, you won't. You garbage mouth.
Yes, of course. Ryan King also joining us.
I feel judged. I was already judged. I'm being judged again.
You can go about your day as usual. We will reserve your judgment for after your working hours.
I went to the trouble to figure out how to download the trial so that I could watch it on the plane. I think I get at least some amount of pass for the other shit that I watch on the plane.
What size phone screen do you have? How did you watch it?
I used it's on a large tablet.
Okay, there you go. Okay, at least some decency.
Yeah, I now have a gigantic MacBook, so I try.
There you go.
That's why he didn't appreciate the cinematography as much as he should have. You know,
yeah. You got to get those glasses that beam it into your eyes. Those are nice.
I do have a TV that I can watch on my own and not disturb anyone else. That is a nice 2026 television. So maybe I could start.
I thought you were going to say I have a TV I can bring on a plane.
That would be amazing.
I need to get this in.
I've
got this battery.
It fits in the overhead compartment. I can bring it on.
Sir, do you mind if I move your bag so I can put my Blu-ray player there? All right. Well, let's get into it.
Put it in like a service jacket. This is my service flat screen television.
That's ADA compliant.
It'll stay in my lap.
I guarantee you, it's doing more for me than that dog's doing for that guy over there.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's way more comforting.
Well, I have a feeling based on this conversation, we should probably put Ryan's stuff first. Also, just chronologically, I think in the order of releases, it would be best to go with Ryan first.
Oh, okay.
Yours is an oldie, but a newie that was remade of the oldie. What do you got for us, Ryan?
It's that, they even lampoon it in there. It's like a remake, sequel, reboot kind of a movie, yeah? Mm-hmm. All right, flying, I will download stuff to watch, but I usually just download anime. You know, I try to get a movie in when I have time to get a movie, and flights tends to be a time where I'm like, I actually have some unrestricted time. I can sit and watch a movie. I knew I was going to watch the trial. I didn't have a very long flight. So I had time to watch the trial on one way, and the other way I was like, well, let's just see what Southwest Airlines has. And just roll the fucking dice, apparently. I've seen almost all the stuff that they had, amazingly, which probably tells you they don't have as good a selection as they used to. But the shit that was newer that I hadn't seen was either too good, I felt like, to watch on the plane, or just I knew was crap. Full crap, I guess, that I wouldn't like. So yeah, I did pass up F1. Yeah, but I'm like, one battle after another, I still want to see.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, sure. One battle after another, I still want to see, but I don't want to see it like that. Not like this. Right, but then it's also I'm passing up Wicked for good, just other shit. Right, so I'm like, I had some options that were definitely better, but I went with 2025's Anaconda, starring Paul Rudd and Jack Black.
I don't want to wait, man.
Doug, what are you talking about?
Let's do it. Let's reboot Anaconda.
This is going to be the adventure of a lifetime. We've dreamed of making this movie ever since we were kids. What does it cost to get this thing made?
$2.5 million.
We've approved a loan for up to $9,400.
Yes. We're going to shoot it indie style. Run and gun.
We need a riverboat, a script, a snake handler, and a real snake.
Claire, you and I will star in it.
I love you, Derek.
Kenny, you shoot it.
Here we go.
Doug, you direct.
Action! Put your face right up next to the snake.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wow.
Which, the plot
Ryan,
is...
why do you keep doing this to yourself? Like, you have
wanted to
so many
see.
things to watch on this plane. Yeah, probably since the private equity firm bought Southwest Airlines, their options aren't as good. Fuck them. Assigned seats are bullshit. But yeah, there's got to be something that you could have watched that was better than the remake of Anaconda.
Yeah, the clouds.
Yeah. I was...
Yeah, that would have been better. That would have been better. Yeah.
Just stare out the window. In the past, Southwest, I've rarely had issues. Every single plane I took on Southwest was running late. Somehow, changing what had always worked for them and making flights run efficiently now fucking sucks. Surprise. I don't know. Looking at the things that I could, this was the one where I was like, I guess I gotta find out. I'll go and I gotta find out.
I gotta find out.
Yeah.
Wow, Woodward and Bernstein over here. He just needed to know.
The idea from the trailer is that as children, they wanted to make Anaconda, or they were in love with Anaconda, but Jack Black and Paul Rudd were too old to be children when Anaconda came out in 1997.
Paul Rudd's really trying to
that doesn't
convince
make
everyone
more
that he's 35. He's trying really hard.
Yeah, he's still
like
sticking with it. He's
60
trying to stick
something,
with it.
Yeah, he's really old.
Jesus.
Yeah. We're not going to get him as a guest now. They actually don't show that scene. That's another one of those, they put it in the trailer, but it doesn't exist. As kids, Jack Black and Paul Rudd made little, shit movies on their on their VHS movies or whatever at home in their garage. And they grew up and became an actor and a director, but Paul Rudd as an actor is getting fucking nothing, and Jack Black as a director is just making wedding movies, like wedding tapes, and he obviously wants to do more with them, but isn't. Paul Rudd comes back to visit him after to visit Jack Black after having lost out on another role, and is like, hey, we should just make a movie. I got the rights to Anaconda. It turns out it's based on a book from a Japanese guy. He was really old, and I was with his widow, and was able to get the rights really cheap because I can base it off the book and it doesn't have to do with the movie. And then convinces him and a couple of their friends to go make this Anaconda movie as cheap as they can, but actually in Brazil. That's the expense they're gonna set up. It is a group of idiots. It's one of those movies. These are four idiots. If you have to kind of give that up pretty early. It's they are stupid the whole way, and just let that be, I guess. Interestingly, a couple of off castings in that Paul Rudd is the unhinged, poor planning, more comedic relief, and Jack Black is the straight man to Paul Rudd, where typically I feel like Paul Rudd leans to be more of a straight man in something, and Jack Black obviously is the second banana.
Yeah.
They purposely put them in this other direction, and it worked. They know what they can do. They're good. They know what they can do. Jack Black knows what he's in. Every time he's he knows what he's signing up for. He knows what he's in, and he gives exactly what it needs to be for that, as stupid as it needs to be or not. Steve Zahn's great. He I always like him in shit. He just knows how to fall into some kind of stupid side character, and you go for it. And then I'm sure I'm gonna butcher it, but Thondwe Newton. I don't know how to say it.
Tandy, I believe is how you pronounce it.
Dandia, yeah. She was in Westworld. That was the first time I really saw her. And she was in Crash.
Crash,
2004's
Crash.
But she was good in Westworld. It just
Oh.
flashed back into my mind.
I know who you're
fuck,
talking
she was
about
in
now.
Crash. Yeah, but she was Maeve in Westworld, and she's
Yes.
a bunch of other stuff recently. She's gotten to be much more popular. It's interesting to see her playing a stupid character. That's good because I think that's also against type. And then Daniela Melchior plays a Brazilian who we don't really know what's going on with her at the beginning, but she steals the boat that they're supposed to be using, and then just they go along with her, not realizing that she's not the captain that they're supposed to be with. And then Selton Mello, I've seen in absolutely nothing else, but was my favorite thing of this, outside of one thing I'll get to in a moment. He plays like the snake handler, and he's like fucking in love with his snake.
Okay.
And that part like cracked me up. Like he was like in it and sold in playing this character and being like way too fucking into the snake. And that shit was getting me. It was somewhat supposed to happen, and somewhat I was enjoying it more than I think they were intending it to be. But yeah, like he has an anaconda that he explains he saved it when it was really little and they've grown up together. And in some ways you could say the snake saved my life. To which Paul Rudd's like, yeah, classic story, snake saving human. And Mello gets really upset that Rudd said that. Like he legitimately is like offended. He's like, no, it saved my life. Like, I mean it. And he's like, okay, all right, dude. So really like the core of it is just like, they're trying to do this shoestring. You get the laughs of like them trying to get things done, and they're all kind of like stupidly doing it. I would say you honestly mostly know where this movie is going. There are some things that are like here and there, like jokes that did kind of catch me, but mostly it's like stupid clear where this is going. They do spend a lot of time referencing Anaconda, and I'll say like they tell you up front that's what this is about. So when they make jokes about that, you're like set up for it, and then you do get a cameo here and there, and again you're like, yeah, okay, like we're supposed to have those, I guess, because of what it is.
You saying Ice Cube is in this?
Yeah, Ice Cube is in it. J-Lo is in it. I think anyone that died in Anaconda doesn't get to be in it.
Oh.
And then they also just sort of have like characters that you know are kind of like doing the same bit, I guess, as whatever from Anaconda. So I guess if you really like loved Anaconda, then like you're in it for that. But I'm like, I think everyone watches Anaconda pretty much for the opposite reasons, right? And so it's not like I'm excited to see the references.
Yeah.
And they could be making anything. Like this movie could fully go through and just be like they were making a movie that involved a snake, and then instead the bigger snake attacked them all. It would be obvious that was like Anaconda, so I guess that's why they did it. But I'm like, all right, maybe it's alligators or crocodiles or rhino. I don't fucking know. And it would be the same movie. The only joke that's like good about that is as they're going along, they run across Sony Pictures actually making an Anaconda reboot. And this is how they find out that Paul Rudd does not have the rights. He just fucking made that up and picked Anaconda for them to come out and film it.
Wow. And
then they come back by to find that the entire cast, crew, everything has been murdered by the Anaconda. And so there's some bits there that they play for laughs. The one fucking funny thing, and I feel like it's set up well, and this actually made me like laugh on the airplane and made my family like turn and look at me, because I think they kept seeing the movie I was watching and being like, that looks stupid, but then confused that I laughed at it. They've done this great job of setting up their snake handler. They've done a good job of Paul Rudd being like, it's still a snake at the end of the day. The snake gets out of the boat, but it doesn't attack anyone. It actually just like eats a bird in front of Paul Rudd, but Paul Rudd's like convinced it would have attacked him. Mm-hmm. And so it's like everything we've seen, the snake is fine. You know, it kind of actually subverts what you would expect. And so when they're trying to film the first scene, like actually with the snake, Paul Rudd's like reluctant to get next to it. It starts to open his mouth and he freaks out and he throws it, and it fucking hits the propeller of the boat instantly. And just, vicious movie, like blood shit everywhere. And then Selton Mello's character just like to his knees of like his snake
it's like
fucking
the
guy.
Rancor owner in Return of the Jedi.
I was like, yeah, that legit. I was like, that's fucking funny. Like, yeah. I was like, that's legit fucking funny. That's like, they came all the way out here. They paid for the snake. This guy fucking loves the snake. And then
they set that whole bit up.
They fucking kill it. I was like, right off. I was like, that bit was set up perfect. I was like, that was funny. So I was like, I know what they're writing. And there were other things that are like funny, but there's a lot that's like stupid.
Yeah.
Funny. That I'm like, all right, haha, but like, it's just kind of dumb. So overall, I was like, yeah, it's just kind of dumb. Like,
would you say like
what you would expect?
It sounds like a worse Tropic Thunder. Like there's no biting.
Oh, it's
satire.
fully
It's
like
okay.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tropic Thunder. It's like they drop them in there, and but that movie like nails all aspects of it.
Yeah.
And Jack Black with a live animal, and that one's funnier than anything in this. And also probably more dangerous than anything in this.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually like even really do a good job of lampooning the movie industry or remakes or reboots. It's like the Sony boat's out there, and it's like how that's funny, but it doesn't really like do anything. When they premiere their movie, they call it The Anaconda, and I'm like, okay, that's funny. They're talking, but really, right? Like that's an easy grab. They're talking about like we need to have themes in the movie. Like when we're writing the movie, it has to have themes. And they're like intergenerational trauma. It's like, okay, yeah, that's funny, right? Sure. Like I'm like, so they got their digs, but it wasn't like Tropic Thunder's like raising even a step above that.
Yeah,
right. That isn't just like, hey, we made funny lines to make our digs. Like that's actually like fully getting into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, that's the like miss that would have taken it to like an actual another level.
Yeah, I mean, especially in a world with like Cocaine Bear, and which I'm sure they probably mentioned or did something related to.
No, that would have
that's
been
surprising to me. Well, but yeah, like with any kind of creature
maybe
feature,
Sony owns that and they didn't want to.
They didn't want to, talk nasty about it. I don't know. But yeah, it just seems like a less inspired and soft glove comedy. Like it's like a matinee movie in like the worst way. Where you're just like,
this was really trying to be like, let's just make something that appeals. It does feel like Hollywood's like, what do we do with comedies? Like they're kind of stuck in this, like, I think they're supposed to come out, but we don't know how to do them.
I imagine just when you said that, I imagined like a witless producer that has like two dolls of Paul Rudd and Jack Black in their hand. And they're like, hey guys, which one, is the straight man? And like, where do they go?
And he gets them wrong, and so
he flips them up, so that they get cast that way. And they're like, "Damn it, you put the voodoo dolls in the wrong order."
Put them in the wrong way. Yeah. And again, like even to the effect of we don't know how to make a straight comedy, so we're gonna shoehorn in Anaconda.
Yeah.
To like be our selling point for the movie we want to make, I guess.
Yeah. We're gonna have Ice Cube come in like it's it's Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage.
Yeah.
Really disappointing.
This is from the guy who made the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and apparently working on that is where he wanted to make this. Like, I think he was really bitching and pushing this whole thing.
Huh.
Yeah, he should have got Nicolas Cage. Maybe it could have been half
He actually
decent.
did try.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think Nick Cage. I think he wanted. He wanted Nick Cage and somebody else, and I think Nick Cage probably looked at it and was like, "Yeah, no."
I'm not
which is
dead
interesting
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was in dead, I would have
right
definitely
now.
still done this.
Ask me after my next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer seems to be all about them like needing to get a new snake while they're out there. That seems to be the whole crux of the movie, at least what's in the trailer. Is that interesting or actually a big part of the movie?
I would say we take about 5 minutes to go from we killed the snake and need a new snake to that snake is trying to eat them. And they don't even try to film with it. It literally is just trying to eat them the rest of the movie.
Oh.
Like we just switch from the setup to the core, like real quick after we kill that snake in the motor.
Yeah, and then we're just doing Anaconda again.
And there it is.
Yeah,
more or less. Yeah, it's like Anaconda, but we throw in some like Marvel humor quips.
Oh, great!
And then Steve Zahn, and then Steve Zahn's peeing on you, and then
you like on camera on the camera.
Well,
No, use a character.
I mean, he's being on Jack Black, but I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Us as the audience are feeling.
We're feeling the pee.
We're getting the.
It's an immersive
rebounds.
experience.
Yeah.
They had misters on in the plane.
4DX Southwest
4DX,
experience.
yeah.
Kid kicking the back of your seat, giving you the exact same rush. So you're refuting this, right?
Yeah. I think I knew going into it yeah, I was like,
You
this is
knew
probably
what you
gonna be
would
pretty
get coming
dumb.
out of it.
I was surprised that I did laugh, but not enough that it's worth any entry
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
Well, you've answered for your crimes, Ryan. Take them away, boys.
Make them away, toys. Let's do what the
I'll
kids said.
serve my community service and then totally watch something shitty again. Not learn my lesson. Recidivism on this is high.
I sentence you to 3 Orson Welles films.
That's
followed
a reward.
Followed by a period of reflection.
One viewing of silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Dixon, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so there are a couple of low-budget horror movies out in theaters right now as we record this. When this comes out, they may not be in theaters any longer, but probably fairly accessible, I would imagine. Obsession and Backrooms are both out, and I was interested in seeing both of them, and I made the call to go see Backrooms and really enjoyed it. I have not seen Obsession yet, so I'm interested to check that out at some point in the not too distant future, but Backrooms is written and directed by Kane Parsons.
I found something. In the store.
Okay. What did you find?
The place. I found a place.
हेलो आपको खुश आमदीद कहते हैं
Anyone there? Look, I know how this sounds, but you gotta understand, it's massive in there.
I'm not saying I don't believe you.
Okay, I'm gonna come back here with proof.
All right, you feel me?
Yeah. Follow my lead.
Clark, what is this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I've been here every night since I found the place, and I still barely scratched the surface. All right, just take it slow.
And I don't know a lot about his background and the lore around this. I know that there were some YouTube shorts that this kind of came up from, and he's, 20 years old or something, just kind of getting started in his life, not let alone his cinema career. And it's kind of crazy to me that he is that young, because the movie basically stars Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renata Reinsma of The Worst Person in the World. So I'm always excited to see her in things. But Chiwetel Ejiofor owns a furniture store, and he is divorced and down on his luck, and he is living at the furniture store and dealing with all of this by going to therapy. And his therapist is played by Renata Reinsma, and he's telling her about all these things he's dealing with, and he's very kind of aggressive toward all these things that are happening to him, blaming everyone else in his life for creating this situation, kind of refusing to look inward and understand what might be going on with himself. Now at night he has to go back and sleep at the furniture store because he can't live in his house anymore, and he just sleeps on the floor of the furniture store in one of the beds. And he notices there's something weird going on with the electricity. He's not sure what's happening. He has an electrician come out and look at it, and they go to the circuit breaker, and there is a weird diagonal breaker on the circuit board. He's like, I don't know what this does. They can't really figure out what it controls. That night, the electricity's going crazy again. He goes down to the basement of the furniture store and sees a slight crack with some light coming through the wall, and walks up to it and realizes the wall is an illusion, and he steps through into this other dimension or, space off of the basement. It's not really clear exactly what it is at first when he's going through this, but he goes into this space, and it's very weird. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen these crazy pictures of the space, some of the coolest set design I've ever seen, where he walks into the first room and it's still an office building, but there's a bunch of furniture just kind of piled in a mountain in the center of the room. And as he goes out into other spaces, he realizes that this place is just vast in this huge maze of rooms that kind of make less sense every time he goes deeper into another space. And sometimes the furniture is like growing out of the floor, and it just rooms that are designed in a way that make absolutely no sense. And he's fascinated by this space, trying to figure out what it is. And there's some sort of like negative force going on in that space where he hears something walking around that he is afraid of. He enlists some help of his like interns or part-time help to come kind of explore the place. And he tells his therapist about it. He's fascinated by it, and she's kind of confused as to what he is getting at. But the movie I thought it was a fascinating film. It's basically just a blatant analogy for therapy. And it's not kind of trying to hide what it's doing there, but I think it does it really well, where this extra dimension of weirdness is kind of, representative of, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but it's kind of representative of his like subconscious and him kind of trying to deal with his life and how things manifest weirdly in his mind. And it's a really interesting analogy, kind of a horror film that doesn't really have a lot of jump scares, but is just so weird that it puts you on edge, just very confused at what's going on. And it's really fun to kind of piece things together as you're watching the movie and discovering new things about what this space and what it might be. So yeah, I don't know if I can really say too much else about it, but I really dug it. I thought the vibes are really cool. Kane Parsons also did the music, which is great. Like it just works really well to set the tone for the film. But yeah, it was a $10 million budget. I think the vast majority of it went into the sets because they're just really cool. I think there's got to be some level of CGI supplementation here, but not much. It seems like it's all pretty legit. Like they just built this stuff on a backlot somewhere, and got Chiwetel Ejiofor for cheap, and were able to create this movie around a vague concept and turn it into something that I thought worked really well. But John, I know you saw it as well, and you had similar thoughts.
Yeah, I didn't follow all of Kane's shorts and everything as well. Like I've seen a few of it, and I get the general gist of the Backrooms. Just atmospheric liminal space. That's all you really have to tell me, because I like that vibe. It's so unsettling, and there's such an interesting sort of subconscious element to just a human experience in a liminal space, because it's weird how like an empty room can make you feel uncomfortable with how much potential there is for it, or like how it can look really off if there's just a few things misplaced. I actually did see that like the health department or health, like RFK Jr. and them have shared Backrooms posts that have like just the Backrooms, but then they put their stupid fucking food pyramid in it, and it makes it like look way worse. It's so funny to see that kind of shit where I'm like, they just don't get it. This is where all the nightmares live. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and the vibes as well. I saw this in a double feature. This was my come down film from Obsession, which is a much more intense, like uncomfortable long-term ride out than I felt Backrooms was, where Backrooms had a good balance of like letting you get out of the Backrooms for a bit and kind of breathe with the characters and then go back in. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I'm going back to see it this weekend, currently negotiating with my brother and sister-in-law whether or not I will be bringing my 10-year-old nephew.
Bad idea.
Which I think is going to be great. I don't know, Ryan, as a parent, I feel like you can tell me if I'm off base here, but sometimes a little trauma is good for kids. I think that some movies you need to see to be like, did I see that? And it doesn't have a whole lot of gore in it. I mean, it does have like, there's like, it's not like on-screen gore where it's just like constant or generous with it. There's like a few scenes, and the rest is kind of like, I would say on par with like a Jurassic World, people get snatched and other kind of shit and they're going away. Really fast action. So I'm like, I feel like this is safe enough and weird enough. Probably the only thing that's going to bore him is a grown man's problems in therapy. Yeah. Where he'll just be like, what the fuck is this boring shit about? Get to the Backrooms.
I tend to lean towards the trauma coming along in the spoonful of sugar of an otherwise like
there you
kids
go. Oh yeah, you mean like Alice through the Looking Glass?
Yeah, so that's yeah. I think then that's good because you get the reality of like life has some just fucking shit you're not prepared for, but not inundated fully by the shit you're not prepared for.
Yeah, that was
just like a horse being drawn under mud or
Oh yeah, sure.
Thing's soul being sucked out by a dark crystal or whatever. It's just a bit here and there.
Hey, that horse succumbed to nihilism. Okay, that was what was happening in the Neverending Story. But yeah, I think he'd been asking for a long time to go see Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was like, I don't want to take you to that. And that was kind of like the agreement, the consensus all the adults had. But after seeing Backrooms, he's wanted to see it, and I'm like, this could be your first like big kid movie with your uncle. Like, we can talk about it after. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. I don't know. They're the parents. They say whether they can or can't. I'm the bad uncle in this situation, attempting to bring my nephew along for a weird, wild ride that he himself has asked to go on. So
he's never going to be able to set foot in a furniture store again.
That's true. Yeah. With all their low rates. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it. Ryan, I think that you should check it out. It would be, I wouldn't recommend checking it out on a plane. It's probably cooler to watch it at home or, if you're able to make it to a theater.
Yeah, I think I want to go for like an atmosphere on this one. I haven't had the chance to watch it yet, but it's on my radar and I like the atmosphere. I think it's interesting because to me, honestly, it sounds like good House of Leaves.
Yeah.
Which I had said like can't be adapted, and this isn't an adaptation. I actually, as far as like influenced by House of Leaves, this may be fully like indirectly influenced, and the creators might not even know it. that
universal
this, like,
influence just by existing.
Right, it stems because House of Leaves coming out turn of the century came out in bits and pieces on the internet and was treated as this like found footagey kind of weird thing. And also created kind of the early obsession with like liminal space. Like that's only something that's become this like, it's something that's always fucking been creepy, but no one's really like sat down and been like, dude, is this creepy? Until I think online, like sharing media and then people posting like, it just became that like post a weird picture with like a creepy thing in it or write a creepy little story or all that stuff. That all kind of came from House of Leaves and the way it was released and, the type of feeling that it gave, that eventually I think like Backrooms is just taking, like the web series was taking both the release weird shit on the internet, which started back then at the turn of the century, and I found a weird space that makes me feel uncomfortable, which is exactly the plot of House of Leaves. The interesting thing about House of Leaves is about the writing aspects of it.
Yeah.
About it being found in main manuscript and the fucking weird way it's written, all the footnotes and all that shit. It sounds like Backrooms is able to just like, doesn't need that because it's not about that. It's just about the weird liminal space beast, not that shit, which is why House of Leaves isn't doable in any other format, but something like this can work.
Yeah. I was also like, I think that one thing that Dixon and I agreed on about this was we're not spoiling the ending here, but just in terms of like a feeling for the ending, it is probably the best way that the movie could end. And it's like it's clear that Kane had like a full say on what he got to do. And they're like, this is like how we're going to, end it. I know he co-wrote it with somebody who's like a veteran writer, but it seems like there was not an intention to be like, let's give it, a really conventional horror ending or like some happy bullshit. It ends very jarring. And I enjoyed it after I walked out. I thought it made me think more about what it was rather than if it had ended any other way.
Yeah.
So
it is really interesting that they let him do this.
Yeah.
Like this feels like the kind of thing that in so many other things that are similar, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that wasn't a movie, so we couldn't see that the creator there could direct a movie. So I can see why I like kind of like went in a direction, but it kind of, that fucking movie is bizarre in comparison to the games.
Yeah.
That someone was like, hey, we should, let's make this here guy.
Yeah.
Like, do it.
Yeah.
Do the thing you did and do it well, which is like the opposite of every corporation I've ever seen make a merger or acquisition and any other adaptation where they're like, wow, that thing's really good. Let's do it completely different. Why is it not working?
Chloe Zhao, make Eternals. Why aren't you making it good? Here, let me help you. Move over.
They're like the mom answering the dating questions in the background for you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, I would say that the sexual revolution's certainly gone too far.
Cool. And I think just one more point on the story. I think the therapy analysis is fascinating to me, and I think it's done in a way that like really feels like therapy and what that experience is like, and like having someone explore your mind. And I think it's crazy that Kane at 20 years old could fucking pull this off. You know, like it's about a middle-aged divorce guy going through a midlife crisis, going through like a very traumatic experience, and like going through all that stuff in therapy. It's kind of crazy to me that, you know, I don't know how much of the writing came from him and how much of it came from, you know, the co-writer on it. But I'm just shocked that a 20-year-old could make a movie that accurately portrays those ideas in such a visceral way.
Yeah. It's that inverse. Instead of Hollywood writing for young people, it's young people writing for Hollywood.
Hey, yeah. There you go.
Wow, what a revolutionary idea. Bring new voices in. But yeah, cool. So recommend for Backrooms.
Yes.
Hopefully it's still in theaters by the time you hear this. If it is, you should go check it out. Probably in a dollar theater. It's still worth seeing it there too.
Oh yeah.
Why not? Well, yeah, we talked about how Dixon and I have both seen a lot of new movies lately. We're starting to pick up. I feel like there's good momentum. My one thing that I still have to see is I Love Boosters, but I've gotten to cover most of my bases. I saw Obsession, I saw Backrooms, and then a surprise treat that I didn't realize was going to happen because I work closely with the Hyperreal Film Club. There was an advanced screening that I got 2 tickets snagged for Michael Sarnoski's The Death of Robin Hood, which is at this point in time yet to come out. It comes out, I think, on the 19th.
Would you like to know a secret? People speak of Robin Hood, tell his stories. They're all lies. He was not a hero. You were a murderous brigand. We were monsters. I am the outlaw. Robin Hood.
If you're listening to this and you're wondering if you should go see it, I'm just going to outright say I would recommend this. I think that it's, you know, I think it's a great movie. Michael Sarnoski he directed Pig. He directed Quiet Place Day One. I'm a huge fan of Pig. Dixon and I are both Pig fans here. We love that.
Huge Pig fans.
We love Pig, don't we, folks? But yeah, this movie is a rather interesting, for me, like an out of left field thing. Like, I don't know what Michael Sarnoski wants to explore in his grand careers, like different themes. But this one I just didn't see happening, which is the whole story is Robin Hood, who's portrayed by Hugh Jackman, is just an old man at the point that you join him in this movie. He's an old man who has effectively given up his outlaw days, or so we are led to believe at the beginning. But there are people who still seek him out to try to kill him for what he's done. And he, in like a last like rekindling of his friendship with Little John, who's played by Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård, not in this movie for very long for people who don't like Bill Skarsgård. Just long enough to do freaky, weird Bill Skarsgård shit. But yeah, like Little John shows up and says, hey, we used to be outlaws. We, did all this terrible shit to people. And now I've kind of settled down in a life that I just want to live. Like, I would like to live it. But the people that we did terrible shit to have taken my family hostage. They've taken my kids hostage, which it's like also a family that he's inherited from killing people.
Yeah.
Established off the bat, Robin Hood and Little John are not great. They're not the great people that all of the legends make them out to be. They're pretty fucking barbarous men who just fucking like loot and pillage and kill when they need to survive. And Robin Hood is racked with a lot of guilt. I think that he's starting to come to terms with PTSD and the fact that he's just murdered a lot of innocent people. And from here, there's, the first hour of the movie is sort of setting up the final misdeed that they're going to try to commit to get Little John's family back. And the latter half of the film sees Robin Hood injured and recovering on a priory and trying to kind of come into reconciliation and understand where his lot in life is supposed to be and come to peace with his life. And he just kind of begs for death for most of it. It sounds like a very depressing film, but it does have like these faint glimmers of hope and very human warmth in like the connection he shares with people on this priory. And I feel like that's the same vibe I wanted from this kind of story. It just happens to be front loaded with the most brutal violence I've seen in a while. Like Last of Us 2 level violence, which anybody out there who's played it or seen the HBO season 2, that is like really bleak shit. And that's kind of what the gore and over the top violence is at the beginning. Like Little John and Robin Hood are well established, ruthless. They served us rabbit stew at the screening too, like right in the moment where like terrible, brutal shit was happening.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we supposed to do with this?
I ate it. It was weird. But yeah, so that's the whole thing. It's like, it's front loaded action and like this brutality with a lot of like melancholy strewn throughout. And then the latter half of it is a lot more philosophical mediation on like the importance of storytelling and what it means and whether or not it's right to carry certain stories forward, or even like evidence of your existence, like what you as a human being, how your existence impacts others. And there were several times where I kind of forgot that Hugh Jackman was playing the lead, because I just felt like he's so old I can't recognize him sometimes, and then two, like just in his makeup and in the attire and the heat of the moment, like I totally lost him for the character. I really enjoyed that piece of it, and the score was beautiful and the cinematography was beautiful. And so it's like one of those where I'm like, when we left, I know that I really loved it. Like I said, I liked it initially, and then the more I thought about it, I loved it. But I also am like, who is gonna see this? Like I have a feeling it's gonna get like Northman, where they're just like, nah, like everybody sees it and is like, I don't know if I want to go to that. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. Yeah, I liked it. I didn't like it as much as you did. I had some issues with the pacing and some of the like character depth, but I think there are a lot of interesting ideas in it. Like the idea that, you know, like the legend of something is just the legend, and stories are used for manipulative purposes. And, you know, like Robin Hood was often telling some of these stories in order to craft a legend about himself, in order to manipulate people and to get what he wanted and to further the violence that he was committing. And those are some really interesting ideas. And his kind of, you know, the second half of the movie, his kind of quasi-redemption arc and kind of coming to terms with himself is kind of interesting, but also it gets a little bit slow, and there are parts that felt a little bit kind of predictable to me. And then I felt like the ending was weird. I don't know if you would agree with me on that, and we probably can't like really talk about the ending directly on this, but the movie is called The Death of Robin Hood. Go figure. But the ending I thought was a little cheesy, but there are definitely good aspects of it. And it's possible that if I watched it again, I might appreciate it more on the level that you did. But I mean, I liked it. I thought Hugh Jackman was good. The cinematography is beautiful. It's shot all like natural light in Northern Ireland, and the music, the score is really great, and it has a lot of good things going for it.
It's like a first-time composer or something too. Like I looked up their credits and they don't have anything else, and I was like, this is amazing. Like what I want to listen to other things that you've done. But yeah.
Do you think Sarnoski has Death Stranding in him? Do you think he?
Oh yes. He gave a little like 3 to 4 minute intro where he held up his cat for everybody to see in the audience.
By the way, his cat's name is Navi. I'm like, are you a fucking Avatar nerd? What the hell is going on, Michael Sarnoski? I did not predict that.
No, he's a Legend of Zelda fan. That's what it is. It's the fairy, right? Is that what I don't remember what the fucking fairy's called. But I feel like he's a gamer. He was wearing a Death Stranding shirt, Ryan. He was hinting heavily he's ready to take it on. I'll see him holding up his cat again at another advanced screening, whatever that. Who knows what they'll serve us for the Death Stranding screening?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he can do it.
They got to serve you those little bug.
Oh, those tiny, the cryptobites or whatever. I thought they'd give a pizza because they have a pizza man in the Death Stranding games. Dixon ordered a pizza this time, and then they served him the rabbit after. But
yeah, like I wouldn't have ordered a pizza if I knew there was rabbit stew coming. But you didn't tell me this.
Have to plan. But yeah, I feel like he's up to the task. I think that was like one of the first things I said when we walked out. We talked a little bit about it, and then immediately after I was like, yeah, I think he's ready. I think he can do this. Especially with how there's a lot of sweeping scenes of like Northern Ireland and everybody kind of walking. You kind of have like Lord of the Rings vibes a bit. With just seeing open fields and like trekking and that kind of thing. But they get some like really gorgeous shots. And I was like, oh, this is like a practice round. But it was also his first 35 millimeter film, which he was super excited about, which is great to see like a young director who's like amped on that. So I thought it was really well done.
You mentioned earlier wondering what he wants to do thematically in his films. I think between this and Pig, he seems to enjoy making movies about like grizzled old guys who are grappling with their past and like either learning about or teaching forgiveness. That seems to be kind of what he's into.
It's true. They do feed the younger generations in both movies and teach them life lessons that they themselves don't want to admit that they learned in some way. So, or talk about how they learned. But yeah. It's also, I gotta warn people. So like I said, Last of Us 2 level violence, like Robin Hood kills children in this movie, and it's like pretty on screen. Killing of children. It's pretty brutal. So I just like fair warning. I think that a lot of people I talked to after were like, if it had gone on for any longer with what he was doing at the beginning, I was going to walk out of that theater. Like that was kind of how brutal it was, which again, I want Michael Sarnoski to succeed and I want people to see this movie, but I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Like that seems like a tough sell if they find out or know. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. And the violence that's not committed against children is just very brutal and very long. And it's not, oh, this is great action choreography. It's just like two dudes in the mud stabbing each other and wrestling and like
makes you feel exhausted.
Ripping limbs. And it's pretty brutal. Yeah.
Yes. I think like, I was talking to somebody else about it after, and I was like, I feel like there's no room for this to be like The Northman is Robert Eggers like, hey, I love the history of this and I want to do it. But I could see The Northman being a very dude bro movie where everybody's on board with the violence happening. They're like, oh, this is like, let's fucking go for this. All these dude bros, Pete Hegseth's in the audience cheering. But like Robin Hood's like, there's like a pathetic, but intimidating and scary and like disturbing like struggle to the violence that makes you be like, this is not, I don't want to be here very long. Like, I don't want to see this. And I think that it makes you feel a lot of that rather than like finding Robin Hood being like, I'm tired. I did a lot of bad things. You're like, oh yeah, no, I believe you. Like, but later in the movie, you're like, yeah, no, he's a fucking monster. Like I can see this. So I feel like it's essential, but it just only time will tell when people go see it.
I feel like that's important, right? To give us something new on Robin Hood, which gets done so much.
Yes.
And so much, and like worse and worse and worse over time. If you are going to go with that and you are going to use Robin Hood, if he just says that, you are going to always think of what you think of Robin Hood and be like, oh, well, he robbed some people. Maybe some people died during it, but not get what they want across. I think showing him is the way to be like, no, this is what I mean. I mean bad time.
Yeah. There were a few people on the way out too that were like, I enjoyed it, but why do they have to use Robin Hood, who's like a great hero of socialism in like a mythological way? And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, we shouldn't, I don't know. Like, what about if like real heroes of socialism and union efforts turn out to be monsters like Cesar Chavez? Like, what the fuck? We shouldn't try to hold any one person up to like godhood or like the idealistic. We should be unfearing and like exploring that doubt of them and their character, or like meditating on what it means. So I think that's important. But yeah, it was an interesting comment that I heard like twice. I was like, wow, two people said this, different times, different places.
Yeah. But also, who is like, I don't know, that just seems like a weird historical / mythical figure to like hold up as like a hero that you're mad that somebody tarnished. It's just...
Yeah, well, he didn't pull a magic sword out of a lake and he shot a sheriff, so
Isn't that King Arthur that took the sword out?
Yeah, he didn't do that. King Arthur did that, and King Arthur didn't kill any sheriff. He didn't kill any cops. Why not? Let's hold Robin Hood up. He robbed a bunch of silver from rich people and gave them to the poor, so they say. Some other people say that he beheaded children. I don't know which one's the real one. Doesn't really matter.
I'm not going to do any research to find out.
Yeah, I don't need to. It would be like, it's like people who get, I feel like people who get mad about the Green Knight being different. Like being an alternation of that. It's like, there's a artistic intent in doing it. And I know that you're like, kind of like, but.
Yeah, I feel like those are fair game. Like
Robin
Hood
100%
is, that's like one of those classic passed down verbally before it was written down, and so many people wrote so many different versions of it.
Yeah,
like the same thing with like Arthurian stuff. Like it's fair game. It's full fair game.
Yeah. Supposedly Robin Hood existed in like the 1200s. Yeah, the first mention of him is in like the 1400s. And it's just like, okay, there's been enough time that this is now like, we got a scripture situation and somebody's trying to make like a religious point somewhere along the way. But yeah, again, this movie leads to those conversations. I found it to be interesting. I like what Michael Sarnoski's doing. I'm excited to see Death Stranding and anything else. I also messaged him last night on Instagram and just said that I liked his movie, and I gave him some like things that are on top of my mind that I like that it explored. And he sent back, that was such a lovely thing to read. And it's such a nice interaction with that director. I was like, oh, what a sweet guy. Like, just great.
John's got a new friend.
Hey. I didn't have the courage to ask if he'd want to do a podcast episode. Someday. But yeah. So yeah, that's my recommend for The Death of Robin Hood. If you can stomach the first hour of brutality that it has, which I would hope that you could. I feel like it's a unique novel experience with Robin Hood, a character that's been long established as just like very base boilerplate good guy who robs from the rich and all this stuff. It's interesting to see that twist.
If you said that there's a movie where Hugh Jackman plays Robin Hood, my mind is not at all what you described.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm fully like some Hollywood bullshit that Hugh Jackman's too old to be doing.
It's a musical for some reason.
Yeah.
Right.
The Greatest Showman in Sherwood Forest or whatever the fuck. But yeah, so recommend for that. And I think that's 3 recommends for this. No, wait, it's not.
No.
Thank God.
No. Anaconda was not. No.
You know, Ryan, you talk at length about all the things that you're like, that was funny and this was pretty good. And then you go, no, I'm not going to recommend this at all. You always trip me up with that. You always get me with those. That's 2 recommends and a refute. So we have a refute for Anaconda, the 2025 one. Do you recommend the original Anaconda, Ryan?
Not really either. I don't even think it's like as like cult movies that I like to go back. Like,
it's not a great one.
People go back and watch Anaconda, but it's not good.
I'm just going to rattle off a few other ones. Deep Blue Sea. Do you recommend that one?
Yes.
No. No. That's the same thing. It's the same like, shit. Okay, this is a bad movie, but
what about
not in
Deeper
a good
Blue
way.
Sea? The sequel they're making.
Deeper Blue.
I'll let you know about the Anaconda sequels. Once I've watched Anaconda 3, I'll let you know if that one's worth.
Yeah. Let me know when you get to Chinese Anaconda. That was what you said there
Chinese
was one, right?
Anaconda. Yes. Yeah, straight up Sony helped produce a Chinese Anaconda movie.
And then we have a recommend for Backrooms from Dixon.
Sir.
Everybody, instead of therapy, why not explore the concept of therapy by going to Backrooms?
And then go to therapy.
Yeah, why not? And then a recommend for The Death of Robin Hood. So yeah, I think that does it. Did anybody else have anything? This feels like a cut and dry circle of recommend and refute this time.
No,
I thought Ryan
it's an ovular shape, John.
You know what's weird? Yeah, this ovular shape. You know what feels off? The fact that Ryan and I didn't do any bullshit this time. That's really surprising.
Wow.
Usually when you don't break the law,
you just recommended or refuted one single thing and you moved on with your lives.
Wild.
We just talk about movies.
Yeah. Nobody said have a great rest of your day. There's none of that. Well, yeah, that does it for us here at Afterthoughts. I've been your host, John Garcia. With me, as always,
Ryan King. I'll derail once I watch all the Anaconda movies. I'll bring it back around.
All right, and looking forward to all the Anaconda movies debrief.
Michael Dixon, you are the lucky listener who has decided to watch or listen to one of our episodes that contained no bullshit. Congratulations.
Hey there, movie buffs, TV toughs, and all listeners in between. John here from the Afterthoughts podcast. I just wanted to drop in at the end of this episode and say thanks for listening. If you've got afterthoughts of your own to share, hit us up. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Afterpod, or jump into a conversation on our Discord server. You can find info for this and more at theafterpod.transistor.fm. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.